Should feel like I should feel like I should feel like I should go. Go. Feel like I should go. Feel like I should feel like I should feel like I should feel like I should go. Feel like I should go. Feel like I should feel like should feel like should feel like I should.
Hey guys, we have some interesting conversations on the other channel, the other stream about H1Bs and visas and immigration. I've been preparing to do this pretty much all day, but I've been a little busy. Let me know if you can hear me, by the way. If my volume is good, you can let me know. Anyway, I've been very interested in this H1B thing. I was actually impacted by it myself. I was ending a contract, and one of the employers, it was at the World Bank actually, and an employer was telling me that, hey, we have to, the contract is up. You've worked your 48 weeks or however many it was. And the Indian guy, he says to me, he says, I know that they're going to extend my contract. I said, well, how do you know? He says, because I'm Indian. If I don't get my contract extended, I'll have to go back to India. And the Indian manager was not going to allow him to go back to India. So he pretty much knew. So that was kind of my first experience. That was 15 years ago with kind of how the immigration game is played, at least as it pertains to Indians and, the H1B visa process. And so last night I was reading a little bit about the H1B visa processing. Of course, the Vivek Ramaswamy tweet is in the news. And so one of the things he says is that doesn't start in college, it starts young. He's talking about the American culture, so on and so forth. And people are taking exception to some of the things he's saying. And again, I think that he has a very corporate mindset. He's talking about cultural things, Boy Meets World, Zack and Slater, Saved by the Bell, so on and so forth, all these things. And I think that it's a little bit deeper than that than Vivek Ramaswamy lets on in terms of the immigration. If you look on, even if you scroll here, let's look at some of the comments here. A lot of the people are complaining, and it kind of, what they call it, ratioing him. You'll see that that's the version of America I want to see. Cat Turd is a pretty popular person. Do I really need to start listing American inventors and what the world wouldn't have without us? So I think Cat Turd is saying that many of these companies have American inventors, the founders of the companies, and then they eventually become usurped by Indian and their staff, kind of maybe in the same way that I end up losing out on a contract at the World Bank. Only the best of the best should be led into our country, people that can do jobs that Americans can't do. Again, if you have 300, 400 million people in this country, there really shouldn't be anything that you can't train those 300, 400 million to do. If you got to bring other people in, I mean, they have to be very, very special people. On this question, what percentage of Indian households have flushable toilets, but American culture is less? And this is a response to Vivek Ramaswamy here because of tech engineering capabilities or something. I find it absolutely hilarious that anyone from a caste system would denigrate American culture. And that is very interesting, is that the Indians are going to have to explain if they're going to come here and run everything. Then, the natural question is, why haven't they done these things in their own country? The last refuge, this is the conservative treehouse. Their Twitter account, they're saying it's kind of weird. And America's so stupid, it almost makes you wonder why your parents came here, huh? And there are some other people, blue check marks, Colin Rugg says the brutal truth. There are some other questions, comments that I thought was interesting though, about a lot of children a lot of parents talking about their children can't find jobs. And let me see if I can find some of these. And I'm not sure if they're in here, but there was also something else that I found interesting. I'll see if I can share that here. And this is primarily pertains to the educational complex here. And you'll see the educational institutions are very much in the H-1B visa game. And here's how. Grad student admission is largely decided by residing professors. Go to any U.S. research university and you can see the effect of Indian nepotism on research group demographics. Here is a selection of research groups I found by searching Professor Gupta. Just a random Indian surname, and you'll see that here. Let me see if I can maximize that here. I think it goes the other way here. But anyway, so you'll see this here, and then this is just a list of doctoral students under Arpit Gupta. And this is the University of California, Santa Barbara here. So here are all of the doctoral students, and see their graduation dates are the years that they started here. Looks like some AI network foundation models, so on and so forth here. And so that's one of the things that I found out that I was not aware of, is that a professor or professors decide who is going to be on their, their research teams. And so if you have a bunch of Indian professors, well, quite naturally, they're going to choose a lot of Indians that they're going to be more comfortable working with. And so here's some more. Here's some more here. You can see this is the educational industrial complex taking advantage of the H-1B visa process here. This is another professor, Professor S.K. Gupta here, and here are his doctoral students. This here is University of Virginia. Looks like maybe electrical engineering. Computer science professor Mool Gupta. And I'm not sure if they have his students here, but again, more and more of the same. Harvard business professor Sunil Gupta. And I'm assuming that these are some of his students here. Let's see where are his students. Let's see. And here are his students. Carmela Sangmanhan, Puneet Suri Raghuram. There's one guy, Clarence. And there's another guy, Joseph Davis. Look like non-Indian spell names there, non-Indian names there. And on it goes down the list. And how the educational complex is able to play the H-1B visa game. Here's another guy, Dr. Vivek Gupta, and it looks like this is his staff here. And you can take a look at that. Nice Indian research students under Dr. Gupta here. Dr. Vivek Gupta. And this is him. These are his students that he's chosen to work under his tutelage there. And on it goes. These are comments. University of Alabama, wow, my home state. Professor Arun Gupta. These are the new Alabama doctoral candidates. I'm not sure what class, Purdue University. On it goes. On and on it goes. You see down the list. On it goes, and clearly there's some nepotism. That happens all the time, but nepotism outside of the country is a very different concept there. And take a look at some more of these. This is from the website H1B Data, and this website shows you. You can see it here. This website here, H1B Data. It shows you all of the. Let me make sure. This shows you all of the anyone that has applied for an H-1B. So if they want to hire someone, they have to apply for the H-1B. Let me give you the actual understanding of what this is. So this website indexes the labor condition application disclosure data from the Department of Labor. Prior to filing an H-1B petition with the USCIS, an employer must file an LCA, labor condition application, with the Department of Labor. An LCA is used by employers as supporting evidence for the petition for an H-1B visa. And so here's just one search result for sports. And you'll see sports, H-1B visa salaries, and you'll see here, Doral Academy of Nevada has a sports position, $40,000 base salary. Sports Manufacturing Incorporated, they're looking for a sports field systems engineer. And on it goes. Real companies, Armonk, New York. These are real serious jobs, $73,000. This is a pretty decent salaries. On it goes. Boston Hockey Academy. Sport Manufacturing, Shop and Fly. All these places are looking for visa people, H-1B visa people. These are clearly jobs that can be, I'm sure most of these could be filled in America. Here's a job right near me. The MedStar Georgetown Medical Facility need a sports medicine fellow, an H-1B, On it goes. And here's another example. This is something from Laura Loomer. Excuse me. And she points out that Elon has hired non-American citizens for entry-level roles at Tesla using the database to list salaries of H-1B visa holders. And this is Elon. He's in the game here. And this is maybe why he's drawing such fire. You may not be able to see this, but I'll just list off some of the jobs. Materials planner, 73,000. This is Laura Loomer again. Industrial engineers in Houston, Texas. Associate QA engineers, Austin, Texas, so on and so forth. Fremont, California, that's where Tesla is. He's looking for an associate EHS specialist, associate analyst, all on the H1B visas. Okay, so this kind of explains Elon Musk's desire to get the best and the brightest to come here. Again, this is Mike Cernovich, another guy typically on the right. And again, this is going to be Trump's Achilles heel here. Is that as talented as Elon and Vivek may be, I think that they are capitalists at heart as opposed to maybe America first. And so here's McKinsey Consulting. I've once worked with McKinsey on a project here. McKinsey and Consulting, $86,000 salaries for accountants, adoption and communication, UX, UI designer. That's kind of in STEM, no? And analysts, and on it goes. McKinsey, yeah. Used to be a very influential company there. Now they've gone to hiring a lot of H-1B visas. You know, years ago there was a plane that crashed. It crashed, I can't remember where, but Boeing had updated some software. And I remember reading that India demands that Boeing hire their engineers domestically and internationally, their students, in return for purchases of planes. India is a very big country now, and they're buying a lot of planes. And so you'll see headlines like this right here. Boeing first engineer comes from China, now it hires mostly from India. Boeing layoffs, hundreds in Washington State and California face job losses. Boeing begins to process to cut 17,000 jobs. And on it goes there. And then you'll see something like Modi. Well, let's go here. You'll see something like Modi here in India at the same time. You'll see and you'll see here.
Hello and welcome to The Print.
We're gonna watch this right here, and here's an article. No, this is it. I think this is it here. This is this is a guy talking about. That was a guy talking about how easy it is to rig the H-1B visas. But I want to show you something with Boeing and Modi. And Modi was talking about basically, he's really India first, and he wants to bring in. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's up. It's under planes. Let's see, Boeing, planes, Modi. And you'll see here, India pursues new home-built multi-role jet fighter. So again, they're not just content with buying planes from Boeing. They want Boeing to build them there. Air India buys planes from Boeing and Airbus. But there's something else. PM Modi inaugurates Boeing's largest campus outside the U.S. in Bengaluru. Boeing to create 1 million jobs in the U.S. President Biden tells Modi, well, we don't know if that will happen or not. That was an old article. But Modi has really pushed for Boeing, has really used their country and their buying power to push for jobs in their country. And that is kind of what you're seeing there with Modi and Boeing opening up really large facilities there. You don't even see that much here in the United States anymore. And so here's kind of how the H1B game is played. And here's a guy kind of give you the rundown on how it is all played there.
It is so affordable that it costs $10. Agar aap chaho, then even me as an individual, I can create a company within 2 days. It's not like India. When I was trying to get my GST number in India, it took 3 weeks. But in the US, if you're trying to create an LLC, a company, it can it can even be created within 2 days. You create a company, in fact, you can, using your own company created in 2 days, you can file for H1B lottery for just $10, and you can create as many duplicate entries you want to, 10, 15, and it is possible. This is the biggest loophole. Why it was created? It was created to be really easy, but not, they never thought that it has become extremely easy. The reason behind this was that they wanted to decrease the hindrance to hire a foreign born worker, so that they can just fill a simple application, $10, fill Hanur Singh's application and put it in the pool of H1B lottery, as compared to filing the petition directly. पहले क्या होता था that you have to completely file a petition, collect my documents, my passport, my all documents including my F1 visa combined, and then send it for lottery. Now just with one form, $10 cost, I can get into lottery, and this is a biggest loophole towards H1B fraud. And this fraud is so big that you will not believe, out of 781,000 applications for H1B, around only 350,000 were genuine, one application for one employee, but remaining 400,000 applications are created by just 96,000 people. So 96,000 people are actually creating 4 times the application, around 4 per applicant, which is decreasing your chances to single digit, which used to be around 50% 3 years ago. It is so insane that currently, if you remove all the duplicate and fraud applicants, and let's just keep 450,000 original applicants, one applicant, one case, your probability could still have been 15-20%. But currently, because of this fraud, it is less than 10%. Now, to understand.
And so that is the kind of the game that's being played, across all levels. And by and large, the corporations are the ones that are able to best take advantage of these rules. And I think Vivek knows this. I'm sure Elon knows it as well. I was talking about it early on the stream. Many of the recruiters now are Indian recruiters. And, I was told that they don't really, they're not really considering you for jobs when they call you. It's just a requisite that they must check off in terms of being able to hire the H1B visa employee. They have to say that we tried to find Americans, and for whatever reason we could not find them, and now we need an H1B. And again, you just look at some of these jobs that are H1B visa. They've already had applications for these. I mean, clearly we have Americans that can do these jobs, but you can see some of the companies that are hiring for these jobs may not be American themselves, first generation, whatever. They may have some affinity for the countries where they're from. But it's just very interesting here how companies can seemingly fill, what jobs that should be able to be filled here in America with H1B visa. And clearly they're going to have an advantage over these people. And I think that is kind of the feature and not the bug there, is that corporations are clearly taking advantage of this to the detriment of the American workers there. And anyway, just an interesting topic. I think we'll hear more and more about this as the days go by. I think it'll be very interesting to see how Trump responds to this. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Trump to shut down this H1B, and there will be a lot of influential people in his ear telling him to keep the game going. Anyway, it shall be very interesting. Thank you guys for joining. And make sure you hit the like button. If you have some friends that are interested, make sure you pass the link over to them, and join HB and Going Trucking in the Morning there. He's still streaming. Thank you again.